Casually explained, Billionaires.
Is brought to you by Incogni. Now, the difference between an average person and a billionaire is
Okay.
essentially zero. Unfortunately, about 9 of them. Nevertheless, if you're a regular person, you walk around the same streets as both the Riff, the RAF, and professionals all the same.
True.
You probably know people who still live at home, friends slumming it with roommates, couples
Yeah.
sharing a 2-bedroom,
Yeah.
high earners with a single family home, a
Yeah.
dog, 2 kids, and the white picket fence, giving you a decent
With the pool and the back house. Can't forget that.
perspective of life for the average person. But when you're so rich that money basically doesn't matter, everything changes completely. One unavoidable characteristic of becoming
I am going to a Gooner bar August 17th. Now, what the?
becoming a billionaire is that you end up in such an isolated social circle that you often cease to relate to the common person and your life becomes unrecognizable. For this reason, billionaires actually have more in common with the homeless than they do with most people. Doesn't pay taxes, undiagnosed mental illness, on the kind of drugs you don't even know how to get, and never even heard of the Epstein files.
Oh my gosh. That is so fucking brilliant. That's something that I would say. That's something that I would diagnose that and say. Oh my god. It's fucking brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. Yeah.
Now, it's natural to look at your life where you work 40 hours a week for just enough to scrape by and think, how
Very
does
cool.
someone even get to be a billionaire in the first place? It's really pretty simple. At some point or another, we've all had the genius thought,
Imagine being able to build.
Oh my god. Why am I getting that?
Anything.
Oh, we're fucking doomed. We gotta fix this.
million people just gave me $1. It would
No, you
barely
wouldn't.
inconvenience them, but then I would have $1 million. While most of us stop at this fantasy, impressed by our own raw ingenuity, some people throughout
No, most billionaires are good at math, or they have somebody alongside them who is great at math. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all, bro. If you're great at math, and okay, well, not just that, of course, but if you are great at math, you are determined, and you are relentless, and you take no as another step in the right direction. Yeah, I don't see why you couldn't make $1 million. I don't see why you couldn't make $1 billion. Now, if we're talking about like integrity, human characteristics, morals and stuff like that, well, we're gonna be in some tricky waters. But those things, I mean, I don't see why you can't.
history have gone further, extrapolated on this scheme, and invented what is known today as a business.
Yep.
As an example, Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph thought, what if you give me $16 every month and I mail you Shrek 2 on DVD?
Look at that.
Easy $6.5 billion. Elon Musk said, what if you give me $8,000 and I pretend to give you a self-driving car every year for the next decade? Richest man on earth. Mark Zuckerberg said, what if I give you an app that collects all of your personal information in a giant database that I own, and you give me a heat lamp and a bowl of grasshoppers? To really drive home how much wealth billionaires have, when someone says they're a billionaire, they're one of only 800 people in the United States. In contrast, if someone says they're a millionaire, it means they have a house. While politically it's commonplace for progressives to hate billionaires because they epitomize late-stage capitalism, I don't make fun of billionaires because I have an ideological bone to pick. I make fun of them because they're really fucking weird. Recently, Peter Thiel, a tech billionaire and right-wing ideas guy, appeared on a podcast and was asked if he thought the human race should survive.
What the
He
hell?
stammered over the question for 15 seconds before reluctant.
What type of shit? What type of fucking Q&A podcast interview bullshit is that? Like, are you even human?
Answering with the classic, Yes, but. Now, I'm no expert in media training, but as I frequently tell Putin, Hamas, and Benjamin Netanyahu on our weekly Zoom meetings, the correct answer to human rights questions is always to say yes right away, and only reveal later that you had your fingers crossed out of frame. Billionaires like Teal are almost alarmingly out of touch with how to communicate with the general
Engineer,
public,
you feel me,
because
bro?
even though he can understand
Like,
a regular person's life conceptually, he can't relate to them on a personal level. For example, I get really hot at night when I go to bed, so I like to turn the temperature way down. Whereas Teal prefers to sleep in a deep freezer, he lays down like a sarcophagus. Now, the good news is that not all billionaires base their whole personality on World of Warcraft expansions and name their company after the magic rock Sauron used to corrupt weak minds and manipulate their will. Warren Buffett, for example,
I like
has not
this
only
guy.
pledged all of his wealth to charity after he dies, but he also still lives a very humble life in his house in Omaha that he bought in 1958 using the change he picked up off the ground. Nevertheless, most billionaires don't do much to shake off the public image that their whole existence is just about lording over their minimum wage warehouse workers as they Zillow the next 2,000 hectares of farmland to buy, sip their cognac, and mutter to their Siamese cat what pleasure it brings them to see the peasants toiling for their coin. But this isn't how billionaires run companies, this is how Mr. Beast comes up with video ideas. The ethical question of should there be billionaires at all is one of the most hot-button issues around right now because wealth inequality has been steadily increasing decade over decade, and many people believe that billionaires don't pay their fair share. This is of course ridiculous, as billionaires get divorced all the time. With that said, it is a common belief that if the government were to confiscate everyone's personal wealth above $999 million, this would lead to a dramatic improvement in the standard of living for the average person. Problem is, even if you were to yoink every stock, bond, and square inch of real estate a billionaire owns, liquidate all of it to straight cash while somehow getting market value, in the US you would get about $6.22 trillion, which would cover 11 months of government spending, or every person in the country would get a one-time payment of around $18,000. While this is nothing to scoff at, if you're one of the people who says we should eat the rich, it's important to consider that the average inheritance in the US is $46,000, meaning you would make more money if you ate just one of your parents. Now, because they can't yet buy more of it, billionaires are experts at managing their time. While flying private is out of reach for most of us, there are other
what's
tips
goody,
you can
bro?
copy from billionaires to save time in your own life.
What's
for
up,
example, when I
cuz?
make a new account on a website, I save time by letting Chrome auto-generate an encrypted
Oh,
password.
hell no!
I got this idea from Elon Musk, who uses the same technique to name his children. When you basically reach level 99 in capitalism, you might ask yourself, what do I do now?
Oh,
Not to worry,
Jesus.
once you've reached the level cap, there's still plenty of side quests for you to do.
For sure.
While most regular people spend their time playing video games, doing arts and crafts, or playing a sport, billionaires can choose more exotic things like getting bullied on Twitter, criticizing the Chinese government exactly on time, paying pro athletes to make you feel talented, leaving the planet in search of any knowledge that can make emptiness go away, paying to boost your path of
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing with artists, right? Same thing with rappers. Once they get a little bit of money, they get a little bit of PPP loan. they get a little bit of stimulus package, okay? You get some chains, some cars, move to a new environment. They start speaking about their rich, lavish habits. Shout out Freddie, and I didn't mean that in no degrading type way. Shout out my dog Fredward, but. You rap about things that the average normal person who is listening cannot compute, cannot relate to in no shape, form, or fashion. That's what Drake does. Drake been doing it. You know, it was very connected whenever. Tell me what's really going on. Drizzy Drake up in this thing, I'm ready. What's happening? Long for surgery, but now I'm back again. I'm about my paper like a motherfucking scratch and win. Y'all know who is the most populated group to buy lottery tickets? Yep, you guessed it, black people. Black people, they can't wait to go to that grocery store. Grocery store or the drugstore, and get that scratch and win. Get that lottery ticket. Once they get that paycheck, stop off, get them a couple snacks, some Arizona teas, some Peak teas, some little Takis, some Cheetos and shit, some cigarettes. They're gonna get them a lottery ticket. You know?
lifestyle account,
Same
then
thing
streaming
rappers
it
do.
to prove to anyone who doubted your multidisciplinary genius that they were in fact correct, exploring the bottom of the ocean to uncover its lost secrets, and of course exploring the bottom of the ocean and then dying instantly. In reality, when you're worth even hundreds
Got
of millions
richer
of
habits,
dollars,
man.
an ultimately record amount, you can pretty much have anything you want. Penthouses, luxury cars, private chef, private plane, giant house, and another giant house in a poor country that kinda sucks but has good weather, and you're not sure if purchasing power parity means the gardeners are getting paid well by their standards, or if you just own slaves. With this in mind, if you are a billionaire, it's actually pretty hard to think of a way to flex on multimillionaires, meaning the 23-year-olds on Raya who look like they're 35 aren't gonna message you back. That is, of course, until you remember what separates the centimillionaires from the billionaires. Big boat. Ask a girl if she'd rather be stuck in the middle of a forest with a random bear or a random man, and she picks the bear every time. Ask a girl if she'd rather be stuck in the middle of the ocean with a random shark or stuck in the middle of the ocean with a random Saudi man, and she picks Muhammad every time. Just because men in the forest are broke, meaning they'll try to touch your boob. Whereas men on yachts are rich, meaning they have grown weary of material desires and flew you out business class for your quirky personality. While no one has tried to sex traffic me yet, the closest I've been able to get so far was when I was on a holiday in France several years ago and made a day trip to Monaco. Now, for people not in the know,
Random
Monaco
sleep
is a
streams,
tiny
son. I
sovereign
like
nation
it.
basically inside France.
Yeah, but bro, that's just what I was feeling, man. You know, just let the stream run, just so I can just so I can feel the flow. Like when I was sleeping, I knew that the stream was still running. So right when I got up, put some clothes on, you know, and hop right in here and you know, get to work, man. Get this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's all about the flow, man. It's all about the flow. It's all about the flow. It's August, nigga. 8 months, bro. We only got 4 left of the year. What? Is y'all crazy? Is y'all niggas crazy, man? While we watching the video on Billionaires, or on this guy attempting to explain what it's like to be a billionaire and how they all think and how they all operate and all this other shit. You know, it's all about the flow, man. You gotta stay in flow in this shit. Hey, look, even if you do 5 minutes of it, that's so much more than nothing. Even if you do a minute, that is so much more than nothing. Word up. Because you tell yourself you did it. You watched yourself do it. Time doesn't exist. You just flow through it. You know? So yeah. I like it too. I likes that too, man. And I'm really about done with this video. I'm really about done with this video. Cause I mean this guy's humor is alright, but what I get from it is, you know, it's a crab in a bucket mentality that gets people, because people already have this ideology. I mean, most of our families do, about not even billionaires, millionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires. They already have this ideology of what it is to have a lot of money, have a lot of wealth. But just like religion, everybody wants to project what they would do if they were to get it. That's why this shit's so flunky. That's why the definitions are so flunky. Nobody cares what you would do. Nobody cares what you would do. Oh, if I were you, bro, I'd take that money and I'd put that into a Roth. You don't even know what the hell Roth IRA means. Is that a great idea? Yes. What Kanye said, and Jay-Z. Well, Jay-Z said, everybody want to tell you how to do something, but they never did it. And Kanye said, let me make this clear. Let y'all see, I'm not taking advice from people less successful than me. Ain't no love lost. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no love lost. And we ain't pin this bitch until they shut the club off. Which you gotta respect that. You have to honor that. Because what are you really telling me to do? You tricking me out my spot. You don't even know how the hell, or attempting to trick me out my spot. You don't even know what the hell you're doing in your life. But most people are control freaks. So you gotta take that with a grain of salt. Remember, guys, it's all about what you believe. Don't project what you are. Project what you want. Don't project what you have. Don't project what you are. Protect what you own. Project. Project and protect, goddammit. Project and protect what you want, what you desire, what you see for yourself. The long term, the long way. Longevity. Longevity. Bezaby. Let's go to the end. Oh my goodness, golly.
One of the
Look at Neil deGrasse. Look at Neil deGrasse. Good God Almighty.
Five most expensive yachts ever built. It's owned by Andrei Melnichenko and designed by the guy who made this
Oh my
cool lemon
fucking
squeezer that
God.
my mom just bought. Even though I had forgotten the oligarch class yacht existed, this guy claims he doesn't
Oh my
even
God, look
have
at that
ties to
boat.
the Russian state, making him just a regular unimportant billionaire. This argument, of course, didn't work on the Italian government after Russia invaded Ukraine because they saw the yacht parked outside their shoreline and said, yoink. Which brings us to the true top of the hierarchy, which isn't who owns the biggest yacht, it's who owns the biggest ocean. And you know what that means. That's right, baby, the taxpayer wins again. Checkmate, billionaires, me and the boys have once again risen to the top. Now, if you're looking to... Oh, oops, wrong slide. If you're looking to avoid calls from the IRS or other scammers that manage to get your email or phone number from Zuckerberg...
Oh, well, thanks so much. Thanks so much, dude. Yep, thanks.